Welcome back to Challenge Accepted with Jonah C. Today, we're talking about something that's real easy to dismiss and even easier to misunderstand. Happiness. Not the fake, cheesy, smiling through the pain kind, not the highlight reel on social media, but the raw, daily, difficult, and deliberate choice to be happy on purpose. Now, I already know what some of you might be thinking. Bro, you're really going to sit here and tell me to choose happiness when life's falling apart? Or, that's easy for you to say, Jonah. You don't know what I'm going through. Or maybe this one. It's offensive to talk about joy when people are hurting. Let me say this up front. I'm not here to gaslight your pain. I'm not telling you to pretend everything's okay. I am telling you, you are powerful enough to rise above your emotions, to choose your state, to shift your story, to create your joy from the inside out. And I'm not saying that because it sounds good. I'm saying that because I live it, because I've been through the dark, and I decided to build my light on purpose. So let's talk about it. Are you ready? I am. I'm Jonah. I'm your person. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the show. Here's the biggest lie we've been told about happiness. That it's conditional. That we'll earn it once we achieve something. Or once we fix everything. Once life finally calms the hell down. You ever catch yourself thinking stuff like this? I'll be happy when I get the job. Or I'll be better once I lose the weight. Or I'll be okay if they just apologize. We build our joy on ifs, whens, and maybes. But here's the truth. If your happiness depends on external circumstances, it's not happiness. It's dependency. It's emotional outsourcing. And the thing about that is, life is never fully in your control. So your peace, your joy, your whole state of being, it stays fragile, reactive, inconsistent. Let me challenge you right now. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop making your joy a reward. Joy is a skill. Joy is a strategy. Joy is a practice. If you want to feel good, you can train yourself to get there on purpose. I wanted to point out something if you haven't already noticed. Every episode comes with challenges, actionable items, things that you can actually take away and apply every day. So, for this show, here's challenge number 1. Today, write down 3 moments in your life when you thought happiness would arrive once X happened. Now ask, did it? And if not, what if the joy was never supposed to come from that moment, but through you in that moment? Now, let's go deeper. You ever notice how we tie our happiness to people? How they treat us, whether they show up, what they say, what they didn't say? We're walking around like emotional puppets, letting people tug our strings without even realizing it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People are allowed to disappoint you. They're allowed to misunderstand you. They're even allowed to leave. But none of that has the power to define your worth unless you let it. You can't control how people move. But you can control how much access they have to your peace. And that doesn't mean you become cold or numb. It means you stop giving away the keys to your emotional house. Are you ready for challenge number 2? Good. Look at your current emotional state and then ask yourself, who's driving this today? Me or someone else? Reclaim the wheel. Even if you got to pull over and sit with yourself for a minute, do it. Because your joy should never be rented out to someone else's mood. Let's shut down a myth right now. A lot of people think choosing happiness is naive. I don't get that. Or that it's toxic positivity. I mean, that just sounds absurd. Or that it's some kind of privilege. And sometimes, yeah, it can be weaponized in those ways. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying be happy no matter what. I'm saying you can acknowledge pain and still build peace. You can cry and still create joy. You can walk through fire and still feel whole. That's not ignorance. That's mastery. Emotional intelligence isn't just about recognizing your feelings. It's about managing them, redirecting them, owning your inner weather even when the storm outside is loud. And here's challenge number 3. Next time someone calls you too positive, ask yourself, am I faking it or am I building it? There's a difference between suppression and creation. And if your joy is authentic, you never owe anyone an apology for it, let alone an explanation. All right, we're moving nicely along. Let's get into some real talk about energy. Every single day, we walk into emotional battlegrounds and don't even realize it. You wake up with good intentions, and maybe you're feeling okay. And then, boom, something hits. You open your phone, and within 5 minutes, you're comparing your life to someone else's highlight reel. Or you get a message from someone who only ever reaches out when they need something. Or worse, you walk into work or school, and that one person, the one who always finds a way to kill your vibe, is already throwing shade before you even had your coffee. And then by 10 a.m., you're wondering why your mood feels wrecked, why you're tense, why your joy feels like it just got up and left the building. Listen closely. Your energy is sacred. It's not just some abstract concept. It's your emotional fuel. It's your presence. It's how you show up for your life. So why are we so casual with it? Why do we keep letting energy vampires plug into us without permission? You are not a sponge. You're a light source. But light needs maintenance. It needs protection. If you're not guarding your energy, you're slowly giving it away to people, places, and patterns that don't deserve it. And I know, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable. It might make you feel guilty at first, like, what if they think I'm being mean? But I'd rather someone think I'm distant than for me to stay emotionally exhausted for their comfort. It's not selfish. It's not selfish to protect your peace. It's wise. It's responsible. It's survival. It's time for challenge number 4. Audit your energy leaks. Ask yourself, who consistently leaves me feeling drained? What environments suck the joy out of me? And then, what habits feed negativity instead of growth? Then, take action. Maybe that means muting someone on social. Maybe that means saying no without explaining yourself. Maybe it's as simple as taking a walk alone to clear your head. You don't need to cut people off with scissors, but you do need filters. Because you weren't made to absorb everything. You were made to radiate. All right, let's get a bit radical. Let's flip the script completely. What if happiness wasn't something you wait to feel, but something you engineer? So many people talk about joy like it's some mysterious force that shows up when life's good. But that's backwards. Let me tell you a secret I've learned from interviewing high performers, creatives, and everyday warriors, or you name it. The happiest people didn't find joy, they built it. They created emotional architecture. You know what I'm talking about. Those little things people do that keep them grounded and lit up. Maybe it's morning meditation, or dancing in the kitchen whilst cooking, or calling someone who makes them belly laugh, or journaling 5 things they're grateful for even when the day sucked. And no, it's not always deep or fancy. Sometimes it's just choosing to smile when you don't feel like it and watching your brain catch up. I've met folks who've been through hell, and they'll still tell you joy was part of their survival plan. Not because they were in denial, but because joy gave them traction. Joy is a tool, a compass, a strategy. And the wild part is, you don't have to feel ready to use it. You just have to commit. Before we go on to challenge number 5, if you like what you're hearing, please share it, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications on your favorite podcast channel so you never miss an episode. On to challenge number 5. Design your joy routine for the week. Start simple. 3 small, repeatable practices. Maybe it's a 2-minute gratitude dump in your notes app every morning, or a no-scroll window after waking up or before going to bed, or playing music that makes you feel alive whilst you get ready. Set them, stick to them, don't negotiate them. Because happiness doesn't show up because life got easy. It shows up because you trained for it. Okay, let's go where it's uncomfortable for a minute. Let's talk about the dark. Because we can't have a real conversation about happiness without naming the seasons where joy feels impossible. When someone you love dies, or when you fail publicly, when depression creeps in, or when the news feels like one tragedy after another and your spirit just feels numb. In those moments, telling someone to choose joy can feel insensitive, almost cruel. But here's the truth. Even when you can't choose full-on joy, you can still choose openness. You can choose not to shut down completely. You can choose not to turn bitter. You can choose to sit in pain, but not become the pain. That right there, that's advanced emotional living. Because sometimes happiness isn't fireworks. It's not jumping out of bed with excitement. It's breathing through the tears and saying, I'm still here. It's noticing a sunset even when your heart is heavy. It's laughing for 30 seconds when you haven't smiled all week. And if you've ever been in a dark space, you know how real that kind of happiness is. It's earned. It's sacred. The world will try to convince you that grief and joy can't exist in the same breath. But I've learned that some of the deepest happiness grows out of heartbreak because it's rooted in gratitude, in growth, in grace. For challenge number 6, think of a dark moment you've lived through. Now ask, what lesson did it teach me? What version of me emerged after that storm? And how can I honor that version of me today? That reflection isn't just healing. It's a reminder that even when the lights went out, you kept growing. Let me shift your perspective for a second. Happiness isn't just a personal pursuit. It's a leadership tool. Yeah, you heard me. Your vibe is influence. You ever walk into a room and instantly feel heavier because someone's energy is off? That silent tension? That unspoken attitude? Now flip that. You ever meet someone whose presence just lifts the room? They're not necessarily loud. They're not always cracking jokes. But something about them makes you feel safer, lighter, and more grounded. That's emotional leadership. And we don't talk about it enough. Your joy doesn't just serve you. It creates ripples. It gives people around you permission to rise. When you show up with light, people remember. When you laugh freely, it gives others space to breathe. When you refuse to be negative in a culture that thrives on drama, that's revolutionary. It's not about being fake. It's about being anchored. And this doesn't mean you need to be perfect or perform. It means showing up as someone who's done the inner work, someone who owns their state, someone who lives on purpose. So here's challenge number 7. Be a thermostat this week, not a thermometer. Set the temperature wherever you are, whether you're on Zoom, in line at the store, talking about your siblings. Ask, what kind of energy am I bringing into this space? You don't need to stage to be a leader. You just need intention. Your joy is a frequency. And trust me, people are tuning in. So let me leave you with this. You are not weak for choosing joy. You are not naive for protecting your peace. You are not fake for building light in a dark world. You are brave. You are strategic. You are powerful. Happiness is not a reward when life's perfect. It's a weapon. It's a mindset. It's a movement. So, be happy on purpose, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because when you choose happiness, you don't just change your day, you change your life. And your challenge for this week? Live loud, smile hard, choose joy. Not someday, today. For now, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. Have a great week.